Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Yeah. There's a theory on like being a representative, right? There's two different kinds of representatives. There are representatives who are actually out there to represent the people, and they listen, they take in the information, and then they vote based on that information, right?
Yeah.
And then there's representatives who have their own agenda and their own ideology, and they're going to vote based on that, regardless of what constituents say. And this guy is clearly the latter. He know what he's going to vote for. He knows what he's going to do. Whether people think it's good or bad, he's going to vote consistently however he wants, not how his constituents want him to vote.
You picked me, and I will make the decision.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay.
To me, my
speaking of making decisions.
Speaking of defending their bad decisions.
Oh man.
So Chuck Schumer talked with Chris Hayes on Friday, and then he talked to him on Monday. Chris Hayes has some questions. Thanks, MSNBC.
my understanding of the critique that's broader than the specifics here, which is about the level and depth of crisis we're in and the appropriate tactics to meet them. Mm-hmm. And so what I think people think is, first of all, we all know the Senate functions on unanimous consent. It's how anything happens. Mm-hmm. We've watched real pains in the butt. Tommy Tuberville basically bring the place to a halt.
Yep.
Just denying unanimous consent because he was mad the Department of Defense might somewhere pay for a portion, right? The idea of...
Billy in the chat says, hey, Ivy, the bus is leaving. You on or off? He's not on, man. He's like, I'll wait for the next one in 2026. All right, brother. You keep waiting.
of how cataclysmic that shutdown. I hear what you're saying. But what I'm hearing from people, and there's a lot of them, is... right now, a crisis is happening unlike anything the Republic has faced, maybe since even the Civil War.
Right.
Most Americans don't quite grasp it. And it's your job as the most powerful Democrat to use whatever tactics you have to communicate that. And by going along with this, you have missed this opportunity to tell the nation just how bad it is.
There's only one choice to going along with it. Shut down. We have to pick the fights, and I want to fight Trump as much as anybody and stop him and not give.
We will win. We will win.
Look at Schumer like finding the hard cam and be like, I'm going to talk directly into the camera.
Is this one? I'm on one.
Republicans sucker help. But in this situation,
But doesn't it call the question? Doesn't the crisis create the attentional vortex that is necessary? Because right now...
Yes. And for everybody who's confused out there in the chat, the government shutdown was the right thing to do. If your nuclear reactor is about to go supercritical and everything's about to go haywire, you scram the fucking tank. Yeah, it'll take a long time to get all the fluids back to where they need to be and to get all your rods where they're supposed to be. But that's the point. You do it in an emergency. Everyone has said, cool, it's emergency time. Hit the emergency switch.
And
what are you talking about? What are you talking about? He's going to try some new thing that he saw on the internet. Hit the fucking switch.
I would say for anyone out there who's like, oh, they shouldn't have shut the government down and all that stuff, like, what did Schumer get in return for not shutting down the government? What did the Democrats get from the Republicans for their 10 votes?
Nothing.
Nothing. They didn't even bargain.
Nothing.
They just said, "Oh yeah, no, fine, whatever." Like, at least use the bargaining chip that you have, saying we will shut down the government unless you give us something.
And I think it would have been real easy, but I mean, AOC talked about this earlier. If you guys saw the clip of that, where you send it back to the House. You say no votes. It goes back to the House. We do a clean CR because they added a bunch of crap to it. Like gutting Medicaid and Medicare, giving more defense money to Elon, and a whole bunch of other shit. And it's like kiddo. I was like, the whole point of this was to you were the last, break in case of emergency. We shut it down if things are getting out of control. It is out of control. How do you not see that it's out of control? It's very obvious. Everyone sees it.
And we should listen to Schumer a bit, but after he talks, I have some counterpoints to I know what he's going to say, but it wasn't the only option to not shut down. Like they could have done any number of things.
Yep. Here we go.
People have no idea that they're going to basically get rid of all of American universities and all of American science funding.
Yeah.
We try to communicate it every night, but there's nothing like a crisis to drive that home.
But the drama of the shutdown, eliminating all of these things would do such damage substantively, that I couldn't tolerate it. I couldn't live with it. You know, I know there's the idea that, okay, people will sit and negotiate with us because they're doing bad things. That ain't these Republicans. They wouldn't sit with us for nothing because their overall goal.
That is exactly why you shut it down. It forces them to the table. It forces MAGA Mike to call everybody back, call the House back, get them back in there, get a clean CR that the Democrats will vote on, and then that will go to the Senate and get passed. That is what you're supposed to do. You have to apply a tourniquet for a deep, bleeding, gushing blood wound. And he's like, no, I have a whole box of Band-Aids. It doesn't matter, we'll be dead, stupid, by the time you get the stupid freaking paper thing off of there. It's the static. Like, it's not going to work.
And his argument is going to be that the Republicans want the shutdown. That they that's their entire goal, is to stop paying federal employees and all that stuff. But the polling showed that a majority of voters would have blamed the Republicans for the shutdown.
Yes, because they have majorities in all three.
You had polling on your side for a shutdown, which never happens. You had your voters wanted it. The other Democrats wanted it. The House Democrats were crying out for this.
Yeah.
My congresswoman was calling Schumer the day before the vote saying, please vote for the shutdown.
Yeah.
Don't vote for closure. Like, there were other Democrats calling these senators saying, please don't fucking blow up everything. Like, do the shutdown. Get something for it.
Right.
And Schumer was just like, nah, we don't need anything. We don't need any promises from the Republicans for anything. And if they weren't going to negotiate, then you shut the government down and force them to negotiate.
Yes.
Because they need the government operating as much as you do.
I mean, selling that at home is impossible for Republicans. They have to come to the table.
Yeah.
Because maybe I'll grab Tommy Tillis's voicemails again. I know some people heard parts of it. It is juicy, Tim. It is juicy. The death threats. Oof. Très magnifique. You have, because everybody they've been beating their chest for weeks now about how awesome everything's going, how great it's going to be, and then the government gets turned off. Now they got to dig themselves out of that hole. He refuses to put them in a hole.
Yeah.
He refuses. It's right there. There's been 10,000 opportunities already, and this is the last time that we can put the fucking train in a ditch before we, like, kill everybody. Like, I don't understand what the fuck this guy's problem is. I don't want to say it's his age, but I'm tired of fucking having to make fucking excuses for people who are clearly above their depth. You cannot see the forest for the trees, dude.
It's not his age. It's his entire approach to politics.
Yeah.
He thinks
that's
that
aged.
If he thinks that he capitulates enough, then the Republicans will want to work with him. He thinks that if he's agreeable enough, the Republicans will want to work with him. And they're not gonna. They don't want to.
He's already confessed that they're not going to work with him.
Yeah. And even though it's not Mitch McConnell in charge of the Republicans in the Senate anymore, they're still not going to want to play ball.
Right.
The only way, and I get that, like, political polarization is a whole separate problem, and Congress has been polarized for far too long, and they do need to start working together again. But it wasn't Friday or
Right.
that wasn't the day.
And
It wasn't going to happen.
and all, except for one of the House Democrats, they voted to not do this.
Right.
They were supposed to be united in not doing this. And you're the leader of the Senate, and the other people in the Senate are saying, "Dude, we cannot change back on this. We are going to fracture the part." Like, is he fucking MAGA, and we're just stupid, and we're not paying attention? Like, why are there certain strategic fracture points in the Democratic Party? And it's the same motherfuckers, you know what I mean? It's the same people being ineffective. And,
Yeah.
and unreliable at the worst possible moments. They continue. So what is this? Is that what it is? Did AIPAC buy the left wing as well, and that's why they're making it self-detonate? Is that what I'm to believe at this point?
It's honestly, because you got to remember, like the day before, he was like, "Oh yeah, we're not voting for it."
Yeah.
And then on Wednesday, he was like, "We're not voting for it.
Yes.
The Republicans aren't going to get anything from us,
Right.
except for Fetterman because he's a Republican."
Just Fetterman's. Fetterman's peeling off of the herd. That's okay. Let him go.
And then he turns around the
Right
next day
around.
and says, "Oh yeah, I'm not going to get in their way with the resolution. We don't want a government shutdown."
I want all of the fucking security footage, all of like the the 7-Eleven camera, inside any meeting rooms. Where's he been? What happened to him between Wednesday and Friday? I want his phone records. I want to see his emails.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
did you talk to? Or who talked to you? What did you watch? What did you see? Because how do you in 48 hours not only abandon all of the American people, but all of your Democratic colleagues?
Right.
And you're supposed to have all this experience, and then you just say, "I know best"? Is this the Joe Biden way, where he's just like, "I'm not leaving," hand on his cane? Like, I don't understand. Daily Plus.
And I watched I think
Yeah.
I can find the clip. But there's a clip of Simone Sanders Townsend on MSNBC over the weekend, and she was like, "I don't know what Schumer, like." She was disgusted by what Schumer did. She's like, "I'm leaving the Democratic Party over this."
This is a betrayal.
And I don't disagree with her.
Yeah.
Like, this is a point. This was the only leverage the Democrats had for the next 6 months. This was their moment to say, "Hey guys, we're standing up," and to control the narrative for once.
Right.
And Schumer just gave it all up. He gave it away, and he said, "It's too hard." That's what he said. It's too hard.
And I think someone said in the chat earlier, Elon's doing a government shutdown already.
Yeah.
He's shutting down sectors of the fucking government already, and there's no accountability for any of it.
Yeah.
He's getting away with it. So what are we talking about? I don't understand. Like, how is he still there? How does he get into that position and be this incompetent?
Here, Mikey, I found the clip. It's in the chat.
Thank you.
But it's for the Democratic leader in the Senate to just backtrack on that kind of shit in a day. Like, I don't know, man.
Something's up. I smell a dead fish.
The Democrats are already polling at the lowest they've ever polled. We didn't even cover that yet.
Oh yeah.
The Democrats in Congress are polling at the lowest they've ever polled. It's like 26% or some shit like that. Below the Republicans. The Republicans
are below water, and they're still shitting on us.
Yeah. Yeah, the Republicans are at like 40% favorability, and the Democrats are at 27. because they don't know how to fucking manage any of this shit.
Anything. They are floundering. Absolutely floundering. And this is exactly why they have legacy and they've been here since, so they worked with so and so. Like, you are unable to do your job.
Yeah, completely unable.
You don't have the skills. You don't have the guts. Get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah.
Just fucking go, dude.
If you're not going to actually lead the Democratic Party, then get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out of the way so someone with a brain can fucking accomplish what needs to be done. Lord have mercy.
Page 22 is where they zero out the money for the COPS program. I didn't write down which page it was on, but within this document, $1 billion cut from Washington, D.C. I'm a D.C. resident, and I'm pissed.
Yep.
Okay, so, there's actually little that the Senate minority leader can say, and the 10 Democrats that voted with the Republicans can say, to appease somebody like me. I'm about to change my registration to independent.
Yeah.
She's going to change her. You know what? I might change my registration to independent. Fuck the Democratic Party.
Dude, it's fucking, there is something wrong with them. You know what I mean? Like, something is off. Like, this is so counter all of the values. All of the values. There is no political strategy in any of this. Like, this is I think this is a fall. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is...
I want to know
Democrats,
who he was talking to.
Yeah. And the Democrats have not recovered from losing the election.
Right.
And they're coming up on like party failure territory over here.
Yeah.
Like they're coming up on complete, just one hand doesn't know what the other one is doing. Failure. Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer are ineffective leaders.
Yeah.
There are better leaders in the House and there are better leaders in the Senate. And I'm not saying it should be like Bernie Sanders. Bernie is tired enough.
He's only been saying this shit for, since 84.
But
the Democrats wouldn't even fucking give him a desk to sit at over there. You know what I mean? Like, this is,
right.
He's been beating this fucking drum for like our entire lives.
And I'm not saying that like Schumer has to pass the torch or anything. I'm saying Schumer should get the fuck out of the way and let some other Democrats who maybe have better leadership skills do their thing. Same thing. Jeff tried him out. Good. Next.
Uh-oh, we got some internet issues. I think the stream is still good, but you started roboting. Can you just say that one more time?
Oh. I said, Schumer should get out of the way, let the next Democrat fucking in the Senate, basically next man up in the House and the Senate. Schumer and Jeffries need to get out of the way.
Yeah.
And let someone who can actually lead the Democratic Party lead the Democratic Party.
I mean, I have to give it to Jeffries. He did keep the whole caucus together.
Yeah.
Except for one. And that's I mean, I got to give him I do shit on him a lot, but at least he did his job,
And that is true. And maybe if he can, have some more spine in the future and not seem like so weird and awkward.
He's weird and awkward, but he did his job. He pulled the lever when necessary. He's off the list.
Wow, he gets off the list.
I mean, look at Chuck Schumer. I mean,
no, that's true.
Chuck Schumer saved him and made him look like a hero, and now I got to fucking acknowledge it because I'm not a hater.
Leader Jeffries, we're keeping our eye on you.
Yeah, you're still, I mean, I do remember you now, so I remember your face. Darren says, should AOC primary Schumer? Absolutely. Absolutely. If it isn't someone else. Bowler Hat Man in the chat. Give him an air horn. If only If only Senator Sanders was picked for Hillary's vice president.
If only they let Bernie be president.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the timeline? President Sanders in
dude,
2016.
Hey, you know what we should do? We should start writing a show that is that timeline, and we can back it up with like proper, accurate historical predictions in there, so we can insert crises. Like,
my god,
you know what I mean? Like, we could say how they would react to all this stuff. We're doing this.
Oh my god, yes.
The Berniverse. That's it.
The Bernieverse.
The Bernieverse. A life less lived.
Yeah, because we're fucking living in the darkest timeline.
Dude, Abed was right, man. Abed was right. 6 seasons in a movie.
But yeah, I don't think I'm going to support the Democratic Party as a whole anymore. I think that there are certain Democrats
I'll pick my candidates.
Yeah, I'll pick my candidates. I don't know if the Democrats deserve my registration anymore.
But this is what I was trying to say. Like last year, is we need not the fucking Greens with fucking homegirl or Marianne Williamson. Like not those kinds of people. But there needs to be a bunch of boring ass Katie Porters, Tim Walls's in a progressive wing of the left, away from like that regular ass people shit. Like I get shit on sale shit, like
right.
True progressives. And to get away from this corporatocracy that has just completely poisoned the well, completely.
And the Democrats have let the Republicans drag them so far to the right over the years. Yeah. That they're not a left party anymore. They're not even a center left party. They're a center right party. If you look at what the Republicans were for in, let's say, the 90s and early 2000s, that's kind of what the Democrats are for now.
Right.
And neither party represents my interests anymore. And the Democrats haven't represented my interest in quite some time. But I've been holding on because I was like, okay, maybe they'll get their shit together. Maybe they'll get their shit together. They're just not.
And us everyone trying to work within the system to change the system is realizing that the system is not only like stronger than you expected, it is on fucking steroids. Like the money that they're packing and how they just bury any sort of like small disagreement, any kind of new progressive voice, they just snuff them out. Like Cory Bush got one session in Congress before AIPAC decided to get rid of her for standing up for Palestine.
Yeah.
What's my man from New York? Malcolm Jamal Warner. No. Who just lost his election in New York? The black guy. Oh my God, his name's leaving me. He has one of the best accents ever too.
Oh yeah, I forget his name. I know we talked about him.
He was in the squad. It'll come to me in a second.
Yeah.
But for the two of them to be bumped, and no Democratic support, them labeled as anti-Semitic, them labeled as any of the slurs that they'll put out there and the libel that they'll put out there. I know how to find out what their name is. Bowman. Yeah, Jamal Bowman. And people love them. Those people love those people until suddenly the 35 mailers started like flooding everyone's house full of lies, full of bullshit.
Right.
Turning the tide.
The two-party system in America is so broken.
It's just one party now.
And go back to that congressman that we were listening to, who clearly didn't give a fuck.
Right.
Like that's what happens.
Good over here.
That's what happens. These guys get into office. There's no reason, if they're in a safe district, Maryland is pretty safe for Democrats. Yep. There's no reason for them to ever capitulate to constituents.
For what?
What are constituents going to give them more money?
Right. They don't even have no money. I'm in this broke ass district. They don't even have no money.
they're as Keith Olbermann would say, they're too busy trying to keep their jobs to do their jobs.
Right.
And Schumer's one of them. He's too busy trying to keep his job to do his job.
And like, no, I don't even think any of them have it within them to be like, you know what I want and the politic I run is not wanted right now. It sounds like y'all want something else.
Yeah.
I'm out. If y'all going to just yell and screw at me, I'll just go. Like, where's it like, all right, fine, they don't like me no more. Because if I'm like mayor of my city or whatever, and then like we have a good time and everything's going great, and then people are just like constantly harassing me and mad at me, and like every decision I make they fucking hate, I'm like, all right, well then I should probably go then.
Right.
I'd take the hint.
Right. And I think that some Democrats have taken that hint. They've said they're not running for re-election or they're retiring or something like that.
Yeah.
There's been a whole slew of those in the last year or so.
But he had all of the House Democrats and all of the House Senate Dems all just like, okay, we're doing this, right? Like, you were supposed, like, how do you Judas the plan?
Yeah.
I want the phone records.
You know what? I'm with you. I want to know who he talked to. I want to know which Republicans. Did the president call him?
Right.
Right. Did Elon Musk call him? Like, who called Schumer and was like, hey, if you don't play ball, bad things are going to happen.
Right.
Or like, is there a deal that we can make further down the road? Like, I don't know what reason he would have to flip-flop in a day.
He should tell us.
He should. He should.
Because the bullshit that he's saying now about how it would be worse is bullshit. Because the courts haven't stopped a damn thing, other than the some of the employment, but not all of it. Like after the first thing, he should have been in jail for like doing. You know what I mean? They're not getting punishment at all. Just some stuff's getting reversed. They're not getting punished for this.
And if he got some sort of like stark warning that like if you shut down the government, that's good for us. We're going to do whatever we want. And we'll fire everyone. Then he should say that.
Right.
Said that if we shut down the government, he was going to laugh and fire everybody. And like that's the reason I didn't shut down the government, is because there were specific threats from the president saying that he was going to do A, B, and C if we shut down the government. Because he's already off his fucking rocker. Like he's ignoring the courts, and he's just doing whatever he wants over there in the White House. So if like Schumer was being blackmailed or something, we should know that.
Say it, whistleblow.
If he was being extorted, if the Senate Democrats were being extorted by the President of the United States to shut down the government, someone should have said something.
Yeah, because it's not a completely fantastical thought, but I think that would break some Republicans. Not all of them, but I think some would be like, whoa, okay, Democrats, get those impeachment papers together. Right. Because hold on, brother, hold on, you can't be calling them up mob style, hit them up style.
I mean, it's the only, like, there's only a few logical explanations. Either Chuck Schumer actually believes what he's talking about, and he actually thought that the government shutdown would be worse than giving up all the leverage the Democrats have for the rest of the year, or like he was being blackmailed or something. Like, there's not too many other explanations.
Diz in the chat says they threatened to primary him straight from the Oval Office. He's in New York. You know what I mean? So they could go for it, but if it ain't him, it's gonna be AOC. You know what I mean? Like, there's not a whole bunch of red money that you could pour into New York and get the junior senator to be a Republican. I don't see that happening. No, it ain't enough of them.
Yeah, you're not gonna beat Schumer in New York with a Republican. That's just not. You'd have to like primary him with some very like Andrew Cuomo, maybe
like Mark Cuban or something.
Yeah,
like you need somebody who everybody kind of likes as a billionaire, as opposed to Elon.
Yeah, like Bloomberg, maybe. He's got a lot of money. He's lost a few elections. He was mayor of New York City,
Yeah.
maybe.
Oh, dude, this is when Rudy makes his fucking triumphant return. The king of New York is back, baby.
But the
people's
Democrats
mayor. America's mayor, that's what it was.
the Democrats have a real problem now because I don't know if you heard, but Schumer had to postpone his book tour
Oh
because
no.
for security concerns.
But
And
it's very important that he has a fucking book tour right now of all times in American history. Please hawk your fucking book. Not like you have a real job.
But this makes Democrats look stupid. It makes the House Democrats look stupid for voting against the CR, for the Senate to fold on them, and it makes the Senate Democrats who voted against the CR
right
look good, but not that good. You know what I'm saying? Like they defended what the Democrats were supposed to do, but their leader said, "I'm not going to do that." Like they look kind of like rogues, even though there's like 30 of them.
Right.
And then the 10 Democrats who voted for the CR, I mean, one of them is once again Fetterman. But the rest, I don't know, man. I think it's time to get rid of some Democratic senators. Vote them out of there.
Yeah. And that's and honestly, this probably could have happened in a better time and space. Maybe over the last couple of midterms, we should have been cycling these people out because look at where we're at now.
Yeah.
You know, maybe AOC should have primaried him last time. Last time it was an option. Maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe we should have rolled some of these people up out of here earlier. And
Right.
and then there's something to be said about like pruning the hedge and keeping the people in the party on the party lines. Because the Republicans fall in line immediately, without question. You know, like they don't have a cohesion problem. They figure that they're all the same goop, and they just goop it up together. But over here, everybody's Lego blocks, and they only connect with this piece, and I only connect with that piece, and that piece only. I don't want to be around that. Well, that makes it a lot freaking harder.
Yeah. So here's the Democrats who voted for the CR, aside from Schumer.
Okay.
You got Fetterman.
Oh, boo.
Yeah. Catherine Cortez Masto from Nevada.
What?
Brian Schultz of Hawaii. Hey, Mikey, one of your senators voted for this.
I know, Dick Durbin. I put it on Blue Sky. Follow me over at Blue Sky at Mikey Famine or whatever they say. Yeah, he's in trouble because he put out some milquetoast message like,
Look, it would have been 100 times worse if we shut the government down.
yeah, good idea, Grandpa. Shut up and shut the government down. Didn't ask you your opinion. Do what we tell you to do.
The junior senator from New York, Kristen Gillibrand.
Figures.
Gary Peters of Michigan.
Mm.
Maggie Hassan of New Hampshire. And Jean Shaheen of New Hampshire, who has announced earlier in the week that she's not seeking another term. So
Wow.
She
So
voted however she wanted.
I want to see her phone calls and emails. What'd you get offered?
Yeah. And Senator Angus King, who's technically not a Democrat, he's an independent, but he caucuses with the Democrats. He's from Maine.
Awesome.
And of course, Rand Paul voted against it.
He always does.
Because he never votes for CRs.
Ever. And he never will, damn it. I want a good clean bill.
So those are the 9 Democrats and 1 independent who need to get the fuck out.
Yeah. And again, if you don't feel like you can make this vote or you can do whatever, just leave. Because, you know what I mean? If the whole party is doing something and it is 100% against what you don't like, then you should vote with the party for that thing and then resign. But you should stay within your party. You know, don't scuttle the ship on your way out. especially when this is the last chance we had.
So, Mikey, you know the video you were showing us earlier with Representative Ivy in it?
Yeah.
Well, it's now on the front page of Newsweek.
Thank you. You heard it here first. This guy doesn't sleep. He eats news.
I looked up the senators and Newsweek came up, and I clicked on it, and then a video of his thing came up. So,
breaking stories every week. This is what we do here. It's normal for us, okay? Breaking records is easy.
We're the real journalists here.
At this point, yeah, dude. Like I've typing up my own little things and going to different and sourcing all of this stuff, which is rare apparently these days. People don't source shit.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, I know.
No, we just go to ground news. They do all of the thinking for us.
Oh, I've heard people type into like AI about the news, and then the AI does the thinking for them.
Oh my God.
Oh brother.
Who wrote that code?
Look, the Republican Party is a new party.
Right,
It's controlled by these MAGA right billionaires. They want two things. They want to pay no taxes, so get rid of all the spending, even if it's for, I mean, I was up today, we had a Medicare Day of Action, Hakeem and I, and senators and congressmen went and talked about Medicaid. I went up to Montefiore Hospital, which covers all the Bronx. It's the only cancer center in the whole Bronx.
Tons of ice. Like if eats news and has polar bears for dessert.
80%.
I grew up a block from Montefiore Hospital.
There you
Continue.
go. Well, 80% of the people there are Medicare and Medicaid, and they're the only cancer treatment. If they cut Medicaid by 20%, children would die.
Okay.
Children.
That's exactly what they're about to do.
It doesn't matter what you're talking about there, Schumer. That's what they're doing.
They're about to do it anyway.
So I know about this action day for Medicare and Medicaid that they were doing because I helped put together a press sheet for my congresswoman about it, and I had to do all the background research. And that CR is the first step to them dismantling Medicaid. Like they're cutting things in that CR that aren't directly related to Medicaid, but they will be. They're cutting administration of Medicaid and Social Security. And they're also cutting agriculture spending, which is SNAP benefits.
Right.
So they're already gutting the social safety net in this CR.
And
so
he's voting for it.
Right, and that's what Schumer gave up.
Right.
So now they have to have this Medicaid Day of Action thing and go to rallies and go to press events because they fucked up. And now every Democrat who voted against the CR has to go and explain how Schumer fucked up.
It's like Schumer fell for like a double negative, like reverse psychology thing. He's like, no, I need to not vote for the bill. And he's like, got it wrapped up backwards. And he's like, he is advocating against the thing he just advocated for.
And now every Democrat who voted against that CR, right? Every House Democrat, every Senate Democrat has to be on their back foot and answer questions about why the CR got passed. And I'm sure it's not great for them, right? Because they understood what needed to be done and they did it. And now they have to answer questions about why they failed because Schumer backed out.
Would die.
Okay.
And that's what would happen with a shutdown.
Well, I mean,
so you say have leverage. We should. But in this case, the choice given to us because they couldn't, and I don't blame them.
Not even talking
they
to Chris Hayes.
Negotiate.
Ooh. Okay, put a link in if you can.
It with the Democrats because they had all the votes.
Or Tim, you want to look at Kay's chat over there and see if you can find something on that while this is playing. I don't want to just pull it up,
Because Trump is such a hammer. Gave us only two choices.
So if there
was not a third choice.
Okay, so then the question is, these people won't negotiate. This was the one opportunity for leverage because of the need for a filibuster-proof majority. They're not going to have that on reconciliation, right? They're going to have it, right?
There are going to be other opportunities.
But then
what other opportunities, dog? What are you talking about? There will be no more That was it.
This was it, guys.
That was it.
Unless you can find a wedge issue that some Republicans like and some don't, this is it.
Like, that was literally it. And he's arguing with someone trying to explain to him that that was it.
Here, Mikey, I'm putting the news article in the chat about what Kay was talking about.
Okay. Ruh-roh. Let's see. Oh, it's going to be an ad. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, this is live. Oh, imagine if something happened. Oh, dude, and we get terms of service and they nuke our channel. No.
Yeah. Oh, no. Patreon.com/TheBinPodcast.
Yeah, just in case. Just in case. And also, we do have a free tier. So you can go in there and just check out some of the posts. Probably not everything, because that wouldn't be 100% fair. But in case they do nuke our channel, we'll still have some way of getting a hold of y'all. Yeah. So patreon.com/TheBinPodcast.
We should do another little Q&A at the end of the episode.
Okay.
So put in your questions now, and we'll answer them on Patreon.
Oh, there we go.
Ask us anything.
Jesus.
AMA. Ask Mikey about his trip to the zoo. Find out what his favorite animal is.
My absolute fave.
All right, welcome back to the Fox 5 Newsroom. I want to get back out to McLean, Langley, Virginia, the CIA headquarters. As a matter of fact, just outside the CIA headquarters.
Dude, that's where the knock list is.
Go ahead and take a live look from the scene right now.
Someone get Ethan Hunt out there.
That's the view from Skyfox right now. We had an incident play out earlier this morning involving. I couldn't
do the Ving Rhames joke. I just couldn't do it. I rolled it over my head like 4 times. I was like, I can't.
An entranceway to the CIA that prompted a very large response. So we had a lot of.
Yo, that white car is not going anywhere, huh?
Nope.
Man.
A police response. We had some fire vehicles that responded as well. We saw some of the special response units, and as you can see there, that's right by the gatehouse there. You can see some of the heavy equipment that came out to respond to this. And again, this. If first of all, if you're traveling on 123, you're going to have road closures, especially in that the westbound lanes that are going to be before you get to the CIA entrance and then after you get there. And in some cases, it might be in both directions.
Here on Dolly Madison Boulevard responding to this. I want to read you what Fairfax County Police have just put out. They are saying that this is a barricade incident at CIA headquarters. That is from the Fairfax County Police. They said this is part of a traffic alert. Essentially, the Dolly Madison is shut down in both directions between Georgetown Pike and Seville Lane.
Nice cut through there between basically Tyson's and Arlington. Right there along Dolly Madison.
Well, there you go.
Which, by the way, Dolly Madison is Chainbridge, connects it.
Yeah, what's going on down there?
Man, y'all got some problems. Jeez. Just throw that on top of everything else. Good thing they didn't fire the gate guys, huh? You know? Jesus Christ.
Because what people hear.
Are we winning yet? Are we having so much success under this new pro? Like, is this what it feels like to just have like everything under assault?
You're gonna be so tired of winning.
Oh, I think I'm there. I think I'm there already.
Here is like we're gonna lie in the cut until they self-destruct. Like, what's the plan?
That.
But then, what is the strategic plan?
Here is the plan. Here's what we're doing right now.
Oh my God.
Okay. I want to hear this.
Hold on.
There are two things I want to say. One, every day we are hammering away at Trump. And we have a simple thought that unites the Democratic Party from one end to the other. He's asking the middle class to pay for tax cuts for the billionaires. It unites us all. Bernie Sanders likes it, and my most conservative members like it. We're hammering away at that. Today it was Medicaid. Tomorrow it's going to be, or in the next few days, it's going to be tariffs. He's raising those tariffs, raising your costs, Mr. and Mrs. American, by $2,000 a year if he raises all.
Oh,
Mr. and Mrs. American.
My God. And what exactly do you want the American people to do?
Right.
Vampire Schumer.
I mean, aren't they already Vampire Schumer? Aren't they already doing that? Like, there's daily protests, daily rallies.
Yeah.
People are organizing. Like, what more do you want them to do?
His job.
Right. And I get I understand that Congress people are out there also doing those rallies, also going to events, also trying to raise awareness. But there needs to be a next step beyond raising awareness. There needs to be an action.
Like raising awareness is our job.
Yeah.
You know, we do this largely for free, or we make sure that our content is free for people to watch, and our patrons help facilitate that. It's our job to be loud. It's his job to be effective and decisive and permanent. You know what I mean? Like that's his gig.
He's like, whoa, I'm gonna get on TikTok and make some shorts
with dramatic editing. Like that's not helping anybody, dog. We don't need you for that. We got that covered. What are you gonna do with your, power that you have completely ceded? But
these tariffs so that he can use that money for tax cuts for the billionaires. He's cutting your education funds, and so your kids don't get a great education, and your school taxes will go up for that. So we have started doing this day in, day out, every day, fighting relentlessly. His numbers have gone started.
Define fighting.
Yeah, like, once again, I get it. They're going out there speaking at rallies. However, what is step number 2?
We're still waiting.
Started to go down from 51 to 47. If we keep at it and keep at it and keep at it, his numbers will be much lower. He will not only be less popular, but less effective. Second, we will find the moments where we shouldn't give them votes.
My God.
Hakeem and I met yesterday. We're exploring that right.
This was one of those moments. That was one of those moments.
This was the last of those moments.
You found it and you squandered it.
He went down watching. Just watch strike 3 go right past him.
And yeah, you can hurt Trump's polling numbers, but your polling numbers are at 27%. He's more popular than you, and he's going to be because you're not doing anything.
Now, and there will be times just like
eventually, as much as he punches me in the face.
Don't point at me, Chuck.
Oh, dude, that's actually a pretty good fucking
I'll just grab that.
Thank you very mucho.
Chuck Schumer wants you.
Yeah, dude, I could totally put a little hat on him.
Oh, that's a meme. We're turning that into a
Oh,
meme.
yeah. All right. We're going to go viral, baby. How do you...
like this instance where people will say, don't give them the votes because you have the leverage. There will be instances not like this where a shutdown would ensue, but where we will have the higher ground. And we're going to do it. Watch us.
When?
Okay, but here's what I would say in response to that. And again, I'm channeling people
yes,
much as
hey, this is a democracy still.
Hey, what? Still.
For now.
Hey, why don't you have a town hall, Schumer?
Oh, my God. Can you imagine?
Yeah, get the fucking Madison Square Garden because there's going to be a long line.
Yeah, right?
Open state.
Well, here's what I'm saying is that all of those things you enumerated, which all sound like good politics to me, are the kinds of things that you'd be doing if Mitt Romney were president. That, like, there's this weird asymmetry right now, which is that they are acting in this totally new way.
Yes.
In which they are ambitiously trying to seize all power and create a presidential dictatorship in the United States of America. And the Democratic opposition is acting like, well, if we can get their approval rate down a few points, then what? Then what happens?
Well, what happens is, look, first, we get it way down. He's going to have much less. This worked in 2017. You say it didn't. Now it's a different government.
It's different.
It didn't.
Oh, it is different.
My God.
But health care, we beat him. Taxes, we beat him. And guess what we did? Guess what we did, Chris? We took back the House and won in the Senate, and then we were allowed to do all those good things. This is not the only tactic. We have to stand strong.
Yeah, I used to be quarterback back in high school, and man, I tell you, this is like fucking Uncle Rico speak from like Napoleon Dynamite. I bet you I could throw a football over those mountains. Like, who are you trying to convince with this bullshit? Like malarkey is the best I could call it. This mind dribble that you're forcing us to listen to.
Yeah, he's like, oh, if we hurt Trump's polling numbers, then he'll be forced to. He doesn't give a shit about his polling numbers, Congress's polling numbers, your polling numbers.
He cares about the Democrats' polling numbers so he can just laugh about it and make memes about it. That's the only thing he cares about. He's a fucking 8-year-old.
And if his polling numbers are bad, he'll just blame it on the media. Like, he doesn't give a shit.
That's not a real poll.
That's not a real poll. That's fake news. Softening his polling numbers is, like Chris Hayes said, Chris Hayes is very accurate here.
Smart.
That is a tactic that you would use against Mitt Romney or George Bush or some fucking regular conservative, not Donald Trump. Not Elon Musk.
No.
Not the MAGA conservatives. They don't give a shit.
Nope.
You need to like hurt them in a real way, like in a real political way. You can't just go after their polling numbers. You have to like.
Then their donors will stop showing up.
Right.
Aha.
You have to actually have a strategy to work against them, and do things like shutting down the government when they try to shut down the government. That's what they're doing anyway.
In certain instances and not give them the votes at all. But there are instances with this, the two work together.
Okay. Again, I don't disagree with any of that, but the difference to me between 2017 and now, and I've been at this desk for both of them.
It's different.
It is a full-fledged assault on the constitutional order that has not been seen again.
Oh, I just saw the Chiron.
Schumer, this worked in 2017.
I wouldn't be surprised if Chris Hayes did that while on the show with him. He's just like, so your dumb self. Question:
full-fledged assault on the constitutional order that has not been seen again.
Well, that's
certainly in my life.
That is true.
But the question then becomes:
but that's not the spending part. That isn't.
But then the question becomes: what is the role of the minority in resisting that? That's distinct from we're going to beat them on healthcare, we're going to beat them on spending Medicaid.
Look, if our democracy is at risk,
it is at risk.
It is certainly at risk.
Well, do you believe it is?
But if
he said if it's at risk,
maybe it might be. Who knows?
Tides come in, tides come out.
You don't know. You know how'd the moon get there? You don't know.
It is at risk.
It is certainly at risk.
Well, do you believe it is?
But if
I don't want to put words in your mouth. Do you believe it's at risk?
Trump doesn't obey the Supreme Court, which may happen, you led up to it here, then we will have two courts. We will have the federal courts, which hopefully John Roberts will stand up and make it happen. But we'll have the court of public opinion. And if that happens, as you pointed out, we have had rule of law since the Magna Carta, okay? And if that happens, and the rule of...
Brother, this motherfucker had 91 charges and is sitting up there right now. What are you talking about?
Law goes by the wayside. I believe that there will be very, very... there will be...
He don't even know the word. He don't even know what a word for bravery. Fortitude, like he doesn't even know how to what's the thing that I'm not
be very there will be immediate and strong
that's what you're not. Immediate. That is exactly what you are not. Immediate.
Oh, the Democrats haven't been immediate since November.
From one end of the country to the...
And also, I'd like to know where the $2 billion that Kamala Harris raised, I'd like to know where it went.
The other in ways that we have never seen. And that's what will happen. And it's not just up to us. The people will have to rise up. Not just Democrats, not just Republicans, not...
Man, if only there was some legislative step we could take before it was, a guy in the middle of a crosswalk with a tank in front of him. If only there was like one mechanism right before that.
Yeah. He's acting like you can either organize and protest, the way we're doing it now, or form the revolution. And there's no in between.
There's no in between.
You can either be the revolution or lightly protest the president.
You can storm the Bastille.
There's no steps.
Or
just, people, everybody.
You can have the guillotines in the streets, or
Fight the aliens.
Right.
Our democracy will be at stake then. And if the people make their voices heard and are strong and stand up and we join them, I believe.
No. See, that's where you fucked up. You're not joining shit, brother. If we have to do this manually by hand, your ass is not going to be fucking involved. And don't you put that look on your face like you really want to be involved, because you can't be involved. You're done, dude. Like, this is over.
Yeah, if we gotta like do this ourselves,
why the fuck would we drag your corpse around with us?
Right. You wouldn't be the leader of the revolution there, bro.
I'll be the Obi-Wan Kenobi.
No.
If you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you could possibly imagine.
Turn his ass into batteries like the Matrix. There you go.
Beat that back. We can beat that back. But it's on that one. If democracy is at risk, that's a little different than what we're talking about now. Even a shutdown, as horrible as it is, we'll all have to stand up and fight back in every way.
I think actually this is useful because I do think, like, just in a genuine sort of good faith way, that there's a lot of people, and I think I probably count myself among them, who.
Okay, in the chat says people are literally getting carted off in unmarked vans for protesting the genocide that he just published a book defending. But we're not at a crisis yet.
Hey, he keeps saying if our democracy is at stake. I mean, does he know what's going on up in the Oval Office?
No, clearly not. Clearly not.
So I got a little bit of news for you, Mikey. The wife sent this to me. It's not a video, but I'll read it out to you real quick.
Madam Stryker.
Yes. Trump's goal is to have no taxes for anyone who makes under $150,000. In a new policy, he spoke with the CBS News. He says he wants to eliminate all taxes for anyone making $150,000 a year. Now, why would Trump want to do that?
To lure the stupid people. Like, that's a terrible, like, financially that would bankrupt every single government program. And
right.
And simultaneously just starve the people.
Now, if everyone who works in America and receives a paycheck remembers, not only do you pay income tax on your payroll, you also pay Social Security tax.
Yep.
And Medicare tax. Trump would eliminate those taxes.
Yep.
Which means Social Security would go bankrupt. Yep. Because the people making under $150,000 a year are the people who pay the most of their income into Medicare, because there's a cap. There's a cap. I forget it where it exactly. Yeah, 176. I don't know why he just didn't say 176. But that's the majority of money that goes into Social Security and Medicare is people who make that amount of money. If that money doesn't exist anymore, no more Social Security or Medicare.
Well, they'll have to go into the private sector, Tim.
Right, they'll have to privatize it or something else. So, like, these are the schemes that I assume Project 2025 came up with.
Yep,
because they've always wanted to eliminate the income tax and the Social Security tax and the Medicare tax because they don't want those programs to exist. They don't want the government to be funded through income tax because it costs them too much money.
Well, this is the only way that they can get to that magic 4.3 trillion.
Right. They want to, the plan is, and it's being worked out in real time here, eliminate the income tax and use tariffs to pay for things instead, which is in no way is going to work. There's no way they can raise the amount of money in tariffs that they do in income tax. So they're cutting government stuff because they know, and they're raising the debt ceiling because they know they cannot afford to not do those things and keep their tax cuts. So we talked about this, I don't know, at least a year ago.
Yep.
About the Republican congressman who was like, we'll get rid of income tax and do a VAT tax instead. And we'll get rid of the IRS and have just like an institute for sales tax or whatever it was.
Yeah.
This is
External Revenue Service.
Yeah. This is an alternate version of that plan. Like, it's happening in real time. Trump's going to float out there, oh, we should just get rid of taxes for anyone who makes under $150,000. Just off the top of his head.
Yeah.
Just thinking.
You know what I was thinking the other day? Randomly, without anybody's consent.
just thinking. He just blurts it out he blurted out in an interview, oh, we should get rid of taxes for anyone who makes under $150,000. That's not part of any greater plan at all.
No. And I mean, Sam Cedar does a pretty good job of this. You guys should check out the Majority Report if you have any questions or concerns about Social Security. It single-handedly keeps the majority of our elderly population fed, warm, safe, so they can retire with dignity.
And the same goes for Medicare and Medicaid. When I was putting together the fact sheet for my congresswoman, I put in there 40% of all children in this country rely on Medicaid. 60% of all seniors in the citizen rely on Medicaid for making up what Social Security doesn't cover. Yeah. So if you're looking at almost half of all children and more than half of anyone over 65, they're going to be affected by the cuts to Medicaid and Medicare. Like, that's a problem.
It's going to be dire.
You're gonna double child poverty, and you're gonna put all the senior citizens back into poverty.
Right. And for all of the people who could like afford to put their aging parent in a home, and like it's a nice home, and some of those people rely on that Medicare money and their Social Security money. So when your dad is the only client, that place is getting shut down. Because they're not going to have enough revenue to have the staff and pay the rent for the building. They're just going to, well, why don't you just take them home then?
Yeah, and in that fact sheet, I put that 2/3 of all nursing home costs come from Medicaid.
Yeah, they need that money.
They need it so that they can have somewhere to live and have someone help them live.
Right. So instead of increasing that funding, which it desperately, desperately needed,
right,
they're just going to get rid of it.
Who think that that's where we are right now? Well, that the plan being deployed right now.
You may be right. I don't think so. We're there. I think
we're not there yet.
Well, I think we're getting there, and we have to be really vigilant. I just had a meeting today with the Judiciary Committee to decide how we're working through this as it goes further. It hasn't been up to the Supreme Court yet, which would be the classic if they disobey the Supreme Court. We're on our way there, God forbid, but I think we are, and we'll have to go at it and at it and at it. And that is different than anything else. Different than anything else. It's a quantum leap different because our democracy is then 248 years of American democracy. The Magna Carta is out the window, and we will all have to take extraordinary action.
What a fucking idiot.
Well, the Magna Carta.
Yeah, he was there when it was written.
Right? God.
Oh, I was like, what the hell is that green thing? The Skype had slid its way into the frame. Sorry.
Check out some of our other content. We would love to see what you think about the one on the screen right now.